So now I'd like to add the animation to this. Okay, so I'm going to delete both of these, and I'm going to use a bend node to animate these pieces. So I'm doing it specifically or intentionally after the ABD configure, because these are packed objects now. Okay, and that means we don't have any deformation of any individual piece. All right, so they will be, we're just animating the individual points which are in here. So if we go to wireframe, you can see that each of these pieces is just represented by one point, and we're just animating really that one point there, not all of the points that represent the whole object. Okay, so turn off those points, come to this bend. Let's give ourselves some more room so we can see what's going on here. So I want a kind of twisting action, so there's the middle of the bridge to kind of twist around itself. So I don't want bend, I want twist. Okay, and I'm going to work on half of the bridge at a time. So to do that, if I come up to the group and just, I can use an expression here, a p.x, so the position of the points in x in this way is less than 0. 0. Okay, so that means I'm only working on the, well, you can see they've been selected now. Okay, you can see that. So we're working it with twist. Now we need to set up the capture region. If we press that, we can see what's going on. It's going to twist around there, which is no good. Okay, we need to change the capture direction. So I want it in X like that. So that's getting closer to what we want. The origin, so let's move that back so you can see I'm starting from back here, go back to -15. Okay, just a little bit before the end. And then the capture length, we need to push that up. I'm going to go so beyond the middle, so that the kind of effect here is not too, it's more subtle. If I stopped it there, then the effect of the twist would be too strong, right? I just want it to be quite subtle. So I'm pushing that up, too high for now, just to show you. It's not, obviously, we're not going to do that. We also need it to be kind of more centered. So I'm going to bring it over a bit, 0.5. That's bringing it up, and then bring it over kind of a bit. So I'll just put in, that needs to come over a bit more. I'll put in the values that I've used here. They're not kind of round values. 4, 6, 5. Just they're the same as what I've used earlier. Okay, this is 650,406. There we go. So that's pretty much in the middle of that bridge there. Okay, and what we'll do, we'll just, do the same thing twice, and then just change this to positive, and then we'll have to invert this twist here as well. So what I'm going to do is use an expression here for this twist, so that it's kind of oscillating back and forward. So we're going to use the sine function for that with the frame variable. Okay, so once I do that, if we click on this, you'll see the values that we're getting, and they're going to between 0.1 and 0, I believe. So the numbers are way too small to see. You can see it's just slightly moving there. So we need to play around with that. So first of all, let's change the speed. So I'm going to multiply this by 0.25. You can play around with that. So that means it will just oscillate quicker. Okay. You can see we're playing through it now, but still, once we add some more amplitude to this, we should see the results of that. So if I put everything else, all of that in brackets like that, and multiply it, I'm going to do 30. This will change the amplitude, so how much it oscillates. Okay, so you can see the movement is much bigger now. That's because of this number, and this number will change how quickly it goes back and forward. Okay, one thing I do want to change, on the first frame you can see it's not lining up, and if I click on here we've got a value in there. So that's because we've got $frame is 1 there on the first frame. So I'm going to do -1 on that so that we start from 0. So on the first frame we've got nothing basically. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So now when we watch this, you can see the movement. Okay, maybe we'll do everything else. You know, we'll do the other side as well, and then maybe run a quick flipbook just to see that animation. So I'm going to alt click and drag to copy this. Okay, and then I'm going to change this to more than 0 so it selects the other side. Let's go forward in a few frames and you'll see the effect. Okay, but we need to change this capture region now, okay, because this is based on the other side of the bridge. So we need to change this to 15 and set the direction to -1. Okay, getting closer, but now we can see it's twisting in the wrong direction. So to negate this value, so it's going in the opposite direction, we just need to put brackets around the whole thing. Okay, and then multiply it by -1. And that should work for us. Maybe not. Still going in the wrong direction for some reason. Let's just check. Oh, multiply it by -1, not just 1. -1. There we go. So now they line up nicely, and we've just got movement in the middle of the bridge there. Okay. So maybe if we just take a look like from a camera angle like that, and then just get us. Let me just drop a null so we get rid of these kind of visualizers and stuff, because they're a bit distracting sometimes. Let's also alt click and drag so that we need this on both sets of geometry, on the render geometry and on the proxy geometry for this to work. So I'm going to visualize that. Come down. I don't know why you can still see it's kind of green there. It's just kind of annoying me. Maybe select nothing. There we go. Go into full screen, zoom out a little bit, and then just run a quick flipbook on that. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Okay, so we've got a nice slow oscillating back and forward there, which looks pretty cool. I want to add some more to this, so I'm going to come back out here and add an extra layer of noise. So this is, you know, nice kind of overall movement, but I want to add some kind of bumpy, mountainous kind of noise along the length of this as well. So I'm going to drop a point up for that. Okay, turn the visualizer on that before the two bends. That's important. Okay, dive in there. So I just want to add noise in the Y component, right? So we need to separate that Y component out. So if we drop a vector to float, connect that there, and then a float to vector, drop that in, and then we got X, Y, and Z, and then we can work on this Y component separately. And then I'm going to use a AA noise, anti-aliased, just noise, just a standard noise. Okay, 3D input, 1D noise is fine. So position in, and then one dimension we're going to multiply with this. No, add to this, right? Okay, so we're going to add this onto the Y component, add that back in, and see what that does. Okay, so it's doing something. It's not great yet. Obviously, we can't really use that. And as you can see, we're again acting on each piece individually. So, you know, each section of this is being controlled by that one point. All right. So yeah, we're going to play with these values in a moment. So let me just promote these parameters so that we can find something that works for us. and the roughness as well. That's good. But we want another layer of control with this. So I want the noise to only be towards the middle of the bridge, okay? So around 0, basically. So the values that I want to use is the position in X. So we've got that here now, right? So I'm going to drop a multiply. And I'm going to multiply the amount of noise based on the X component. Okay, if I do that, now you can see we've kind of got it, but it's in the wrong direction. We've got lots of noise far away and less noise in the middle. Okay, so if we drop a fit range here, we can play around with that value. So now when I just drop that in by default, you can see now we're losing negative values. So if we use an absolute will change all negative values to positive values. There we go. Okay, let me just try and make some space here. Let's do that. Oops. Connect that back up there. And maybe, yeah, we can move it up out the way like that. Okay, if we drop an absolute, so an absolute will take these negative values in X and make them positive, so that anything coming in, you know, it will see a 1 and a -1 as the same thing. It will just be a 1, okay? So we want, we got values going up to 15 there, so coming in is from 0 to 15. Okay, and then coming out, let's promote these parameters, because these are what's going to control the kind of height, you know, the scale of the noise there, right? So if we come back out now and start and take a look at these values. Okay, so so this is still kind of the wrong way round. So we want more noise in the middle. So if we swap these round, 0 to 1, now we've got more noise in the middle and less on the outside. Okay, but obviously we want this to be much lower. So let's go down to 0.3. So it's much more subtle, just some noise in the middle. Okay, the frequency, I want to bring that down considerably. Drop that to 0.1 everywhere. Okay. So you can see now it's kind of coming together a bit more. I want something just really, really subtle, just so, you know, from a camera angle like this, we don't have straight lines, basically. Okay. And we can maybe animate the offset on this. Okay, so just like, you know, if we animate this, we'll get this kind of wave action going along the length of the bridge. And this again, I just want this to be really subtle, so I'm going to drop a $T, oops, come here, $T like that, and multiply that by 2, so it's just really slow. If we play that, you can barely see it, but it is changing very slightly. And then I don't want, at the beginning, I want this to not have any noise or bend applied to it. That's why I did that, you know, -1 there. So on the first frame, it's just, it will line up with the rest of our geometry, you know, with the cables and cars and everything like that we're going to be adding to this. So on the, I'm going to animate this, the amplitude. Okay, so on the first frame, the amplitude is going to be 0. So that means we'll see no noise applied at all. So you can see when I bypass it, there's no change. And then just over the first kind of 24 frames, this comes up a little bit. We'll set this to 1 after those first few frames. Hold click on that. So you can see it just kind of a little bit of noise adding there on the first few frames. And then the bend will be added on top of that as well. Okay, so then now kind of from this point of view, you can see we've got a bit more of an interesting shape If I bypass that, you can see the difference there. Okay, so again, just alt click and drag to copy that over. Make sure that these are the same. Okay, it's important that these match up between the two sides here. Okay, great. So I think now we're ready to simulate this.